Celebrities can't seem to stay out of trouble. Bad for them, but good for us.
Here to break down the latest in entertainment legal news is attorney Domenic Romano. Welcome.
Welcome back, Domenic. Oh, they can't stay out of trouble, can they?
Apparently not.
And I love it. All right, so let's get started.
Yes, let's start with the stars of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and Joe Giudice. They pled guilty for bank fraud and an assortment of other charges.
Yes.
But are they truly guilty, or was this plea deal just easier?
Well, they pleaded guilty to avoid, presumably to avoid the trial and other issues. Now, he faces between 37 and 46 years, and her 21 and, months.
Yes.
And her between 21 and 27 months.
So she faces a little over 2 years in prison, and he faces close to 5 years in prison.
According to the guidelines. Now, whether the judge actually gives them that, considering they have 4 young children at home, and whether they're going to serve the sentences, if there are any sentences, simultaneously, that remains to be seen.
Now, what's the likelihood of that happening? That was my next question, because if they pled guilty, so they'll be convicted, clearly, but will they have to actually serve time, and could they both be sent to prison at the same time?
Good question. Technically, yes, but whether that's actually going to happen is a different story. It really will depend on the judge and what he does with those guidelines. The other issue is he claimed he's not a U.S. citizen, right? So he claims he didn't know he wasn't a U.S. citizen.
How do you not know you're not a U.S. citizen?
I think they
that is
travel
his
all that
position.
money they have. What about your passport?
Right, right. That is his position. So the other issue is he could be facing a deportation hearing because of the nature of the crimes to which he's pleading guilty to. Remember, one of those crimes is not filing a tax return in 2004 and also not reporting income in excess of $1 million. If it's over $10,000 that you don't report and plead guilty to, that's an aggravated felony. And that's a potential basis for deportation. Again, though, there are children. He's been in this country a long time. It remains to be seen what happens.
So do you think it was smart of them to try to, plead guilty, or should they have tried to fight this?
You know, that depends on all of the facts and what they actually did. So it would depend on that.
Right, but clearly
If
it
they
was
did
in their
much
best
worse,
interest.
then it was probably a good deal.
Let's talk about Ellen's selfie. The celebrity-filled selfie that everyone can't stop retweeting. Over 2 million people have retweeted this picture.
Yeah, it's an incredible story.
So who owns the rights to this photo, and could this person or company be making money?
Yes,
Okay.
technically yes. Now, it's interesting. Samsung spent $20 million promoting the phone on the Oscars, reportedly, right? The deals of the arrangement, the terms of the arrangement with Ellen are unknown, but ABC executives and Samsung reportedly worked with her to instruct her on how to use the camera. In the end, though, you remember she passed the camera to Bradley Cooper, who took the photograph. So under copyright law, it's the person who frames the image, the person who shoots the image, that is a copyright owner.
Wait a minute, it's her phone though, so you're saying it doesn't matter?
Let me give you an example. If I borrow your pen,
Okay, here's my pen.
and I write a Pulitzer Prize winning novel,
Yes.
right? Or I write a great poem or a wonderful song, a #1 hit. You own the song because I used your pen? Of course not. If I use a paintbrush and I paint a portrait of her, it's still my copyright, it's my creation. When you're holding a camera, it's your vision. It's the way you frame the shot, not missing you out. And the way I capture the light, you're deemed to be the author if you snap it.
So Bradley Cooper owns the rights to that photo.
Technically, yes.
So if
he
someone
is the author, the copyright author. And not just for now. It's the life, under the 1978 Copyright Act, it's the life of the copyright holder, in this case Cooper, because he took the picture, and 70 years after his death. So his estate and his children could benefit from years to come.
So could they possibly sue that, like 77 years later? Could they still come back and his children's children say, we want some money out of this?
Not 77, but up to
76 years after his death.
Yeah, I mean, well, if someone used it without his permission in, say, an ad campaign in 50 years, they could...
Great question. So 2 issues there. The first issue is, who has the right to transfer? So Ellen signed a release, apparently, and it ended up on AP, and one of the New York papers ran it on the self-cover, but it wasn't hers to give the right to the selfie. Technically, it would have been his. Now, the second issue is the image. So they took a picture of all these stars, right? But they have a right of commercial exploitation of their images. So if you're selling the selfie or if you're using it in a commercial, those stars might have some right to their image in addition to the copyright holder's right to reproduce it and to monetize it.
So
And
if Jennifer Lawrence wanted some residuals from the sale of that photo, she could possibly sue to get a portion of Bradley Cooper's money. I love this story.
You know, if it's monetized, if they sell it and they make a profit. Now, it's interesting, the penalties are very high for willfully copying or willfully infringing a copyrighted image. It could be anywhere between $30,000 to $150,000 per instance for every time.
What?
Quick example, in 2010, during the Haiti earthquake, a photographer snapped some shots. He was one of the first guys. He put it on Twitter. Someone else came along and claimed those pictures as his own. Well, guess what? The AFP was sued, the Agence France Presse, and it was a $1.22 million verdict in favor of the original photographer. So we're not talking about small change here in these types of cases.
Who knew a selfie was worth so much?
I know. So Bradley
figure.
Cooper lost that night, but he may be the big winner in the end. Huh.
He might be. Now, whether he actually does it is a different story.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
let's
fair
move on
enough.
to Warner Brothers.
Yes,
The
they're-
Batmobile.
Yeah.
The Batmobile.
So a mechanic is actually recreating this Batmobile, and Warner Brothers is mad, and they want some money. Do they have a legal leg to stay on in this case?
Yeah, they just might. And here's the thing. Merchandising is a $150 billion industry in the U.S. So the studios want their...
$150 billion?
The studios want their money. So the Batmobile, he created a handful of these things. He sold them about $90,000 a piece.
Okay.
And here's Warner Brothers' argument. Their affiliate, DC Comics, has the trademark Batman and the Batmobile. They're saying that this is a character in the story of Batman's life, of Batman's adventures, if you will.
So just
And
like Robin and the Joker, the car is an
exactly.
actual character.
The car is a character. And if they're successful on their argument, like they were in the lower court in 2013, they will ultimately be able to stop this guy and others from making reproductions of the Batmobile, passing off cars as the Batmobile. Now, the mechanic in California, he's arguing, hey, look, you know, I'm not trying to confuse anyone, because an element of trademark law is you have to create an atmosphere of confusion. No one's going to confuse my Batmobile with the Batmobile that's in the film. But
So he's
you know,
saying it's more of an homage to the Batmobile, not an exact replica.
he's saying that it's a functional device. He's not trading on the trademark, and he's not competing with Warner's. But there are precedents for this. There was a case involving Kruger's glove from Nightmare on Elm.
Kruger, yeah.
And there are a few other cases. The 1974 case of the Eleanor Mustang was another copyright case that went in favor of the car being a character in another court case.
Well, we'll have to keep watching this one and see what happens, right? See who gets the
Definitely,
money.
it's an
Can we
interesting
talk
case.
about Taylor Swift and the restraining order that she has against her stalker? Now
Yeah.
it's a temporary restraining order. She wants a longer restraining order. Wouldn't a restraining order be permanent if this person has been stalking you consistently? Why does she even have to fight to make that a reality? I don't get it.
Great question. It depends on the circumstances. As far as I understand, this person hasn't been charged with anything. He's just
Okay.
been sending really loopy emails saying that she's his wife
Yes,
and that he'll protect her.
and he's going to kill anybody who
That's
gets
his
in the way
family.
of their relationship.
So
Okay.
it's an escalation thing. If it continues, she may be able to, and it varies from state to state, she may be able to apply for a permanent injunction.
So
Okay.
normally, what's the amount of time that you can, prevent someone from coming near you if it's a stalking issue?
Well, I believe it's 100 yards,
Okay.
and it usually varies from state to state, a certain number of months or a certain number of years. But like as you said, the quickest solution fix would be to make it permanent, but certain elements have to be in play.
Okay.
Now on to Justin Bieber. He can't stay out of the
Bieber.
headlines. Now, this is a
Unbelievable.
little. This is disgusting. So go ahead and tell us about this private part situation here.
Well, you know, as disdainful as some of his behavior might be,
Right.
what's happened is the Miami Beach police released a bunch of photographs because the press wanted to see them. You know, you've probably seen them online, his tattoos and everything. And the judge said that that was fine, you know, because he's a public figure and people have a right to know, and it kind of
Okay,
serves
yeah.
them right. And when you're in prison, you don't have the expectation of privacy that you might if you're a private citizen walking down the street. You kind of brought it on yourself to restrict your right of privacy.
Exactly.
However, the judge drew the line and said, you know, he does have an expectation of being treated with a certain amount of integrity and respect. So that's why the images of his private parts were thankfully blurred out.
Okay.
Yes.
No one needs to see that.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
And he
We've
wasn't-
seen enough of Bieber.
Yes, we don't need to see it anymore.
No, we
and
don't.
apparently he didn't want those pictures to get out either. Wonder what he's hiding.
Oh,
All right,
goodness.
moving on.
Moving right
Still
along,
wanna
I
know.
know this isn't an entertainment story, but I'm just curious. There's a girl in New Jersey who's
Yeah.
suing her parents. She's on her own now, but she wants her parents to still pay for her lifestyle and pay for her private school tuition. Does she have a case?
It's hard to see how she would be successful here because it's not just she wants a roof over her head and she wants them to maintain her safety. She wants to keep going to that specific private Catholic school that she was going to and you know, her lifestyle maintained at a certain level. And look, I mean, this would be the spoiled brat precedent. If this were allowed to succeed, then other children who have a certain means, if their parents discipline them and pull them out of private school or cut back on their allowance, would be able to walk into court and make certain demands. It seems kind of ridiculous.
But what is her argument even thinking that this is possible? Did she just think it's just because she wants to?
You know, one doesn't know
Right.
what's in certain people's heads and the kind of publicity that she's attracting to herself through all this. I mean, she's 18. I don't even think she's 19 yet. So, I mean, you know, this is part of the public record. And it's obviously getting a lot of attention. And when she finally, hopefully, resolves this with her parents, you kind of wonder what's motivating this.
Yeah, since she's done irreparable damage to their relationship. So, we'll see. Well, thank you so much for being here.
It's
That
a
was
pleasure.
fantastic. I hope more celebrities get in trouble, but I understand. I understand.
Lola.
Oh, come on. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's not our fault they're getting in trouble. It's reporting on it.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. We'll see you again soon. I'm sure of it. All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.